Okay, so today I want to talk to you about credit score versus debt. And the reason why I want to get into this is because I've gone through multiple phases in my life of having fantastic credit scores to absolutely horrible credit scores. Today, my credit score is probably about 830, between 825 to 840, depending on which credit bureau you're looking at. It looks really, really great on paper. Doesn't really serve me much on the outside, but there's going to be a lot of people who say that you need to have an absolutely phenomenal credit score. You got to always keep it up there at the expense of actually not taking care of their debt properly. And here's the thing. I have had my credit score go down so low in the past that was absolutely worthless to even look at. And at that some point in time when I was having all these issues and problems, I came across a mortgage broker who was a kind of a mentor, and I was telling her I wanted to get into real estate investing, and she said my credit score was absolutely going to hurt me very, very bad. Good thing was I had time. I didn't have money anyway. So she said, while you're building up your savings, at the same time, fix your credit. And the way you do it, and she said, first and foremost, get rid of all your debt. Doesn't matter, because I was telling her, what if I get rid of some of my credit cards? Doesn't that hurt my credit score even more? She said, it doesn't matter right now. Your debt's going to hurt you more anyway. And there are just so much more benefits to clearing your debt first. And that's what I want to get to in this subject matter today about credit scores and your debt. You need to clear your debt first, no matter what, as much as possible, even if it hurts your credit score in the short term. And the reason why I said short term is because once your debt is taken care of, your credit score will automatically start to go up. Now, I know Dave Ramsey is absolutely a huge advocate about going against getting any type of credit card or any debt whatsoever except a mortgage. And to some extent, I agree with it. To another extent, I don't. And here's why I don't, is because the better your credit score is, even if you have no debt, like we don't have any debt, we do use credit cards and continuously pay them off to keep our credit scores high, because when we do get or apply for a mortgage or need a loan of any sort, when you go get a mortgage, your credit score will affect how much your mortgage is going to cost. And that is really important. It also, your debt to income is going to make a whole, all these other things make a big different factor to it. And what I have found out is I have tried in the past to keep my credit scores high by just paying everything, just to keep everything going without paying off my debt, because I couldn't afford to do it at the time just to keep the credit score high. I was worried about being late or having one just have such high interest being piled up on it. And to be honest, what happened was I was in such a bad situation at this point. It didn't make any sense for me to just keep on trying to survive just to keep a credit score high. So I took the hit. I called the credit card companies. I told them, let's shut it all off. Let's go ahead and negotiate. I'm not making enough money. I can't pay this off. Credit score absolutely tanked. They took a write off of the negotiations. They said, okay, you can pay off this debt for this amount, because at some point I was starting to just not make payments anyway. It was going to start going bad. Now, it does take years. Okay, so don't think that I don't realize that there is going to be a penalty during this time. But the thing is, you borrowed money, you need to pay it back. So if you're over borrowed, it's now the time to actually what they call pay the piper, right? You did something that needed to go ahead and be taken care of, or maybe you overspent, you made a mistake. It doesn't really matter. Maybe it's health bills or a credit card that was used for car repair that was an emergency, and all of a sudden you found yourself stuck. But if you need to go ahead and reset your life, get rid of your debt first. There are so many benefits to doing that. The interest rates that you're going to be paying if you try to continue to pay this thing off and not take care of the debt seriously, it's the financial strain and the basic stress that you're going to have is enormous. And trust me, I've been there. $30,000 in credit card debt, making $6.50 an hour back then. I had to really do something drastic about it. Credit score tanked, didn't really matter to me. I also lost 2 properties 10 years later, just because of the whole financial meltdown that happened. And even then, credit score tanked again. Took about 7 to 10 years for it to clear. Once that cleared, boom, it bounced back up. And during that time, we were in recovery anyway. Yeah, things did cost a little bit more. We started saving up more, but we could save now, so we could pay more in cash where we didn't get hit by that negative credit score that was on there. The main thing to think about is your credit score will recover. And that's, you're just going to have to go through that pain of the mistake that you made or whatever the bad situation that came out of it. But you need to take care of that. It's really important that you look forward to that. And once it's cleared, your debt is cleared, literally it will feel like a weight of a backpack full of weights just taken off your back. It physically feels that way when you actually clear your debt. And I know for a fact the day that I got that letter that said your debt has been cleared, I physically felt lighter. it was so evident that I felt that way that it actually just surprised me so much that it still sticks in my head how much lighter I felt. And there's a whole example about how debt does that to you and why it starts to feel that. And you don't even know that weight is there until it goes away. The ways to go ahead and manage this is, first and foremost, if you don't have a budget, you need to go ahead and start doing it. I know that B word is such a pain. Every time everybody says, oh, not a budget, you need to have a financial goal or a plan or an outline. Put it that way then. Okay, you need to go ahead and work it through. You can either use the snowball effect or the avalanche, and that is either paying off the lowest amounts so that you gain momentum and then it snowballs into the bigger ones, or start with the highest interest rates, pay those down. Whichever way you go through it, let me know if you want more explanation about snowball versus avalanche. I believe, depending on your spending habits, the snowball effect is very effective because you have these little goals that you hit, you feel great, and it starts to really work faster. The avalanche effect sometimes can be not as mentally exciting because it takes longer to get rid of some of these bigger debts with high interest, and you don't see it as fast. But nonetheless, it can actually be faster because you're paying interest that's higher first. Now, either one way or the other, as long as you're attacking it, it will make a difference. Okay, the other thing you can do is you can start negotiating with your creditors. You definitely want to do that. Yes, you will take a hit when you start negotiating because they will put a flag on it that you didn't pay it all back, whatever it might be. It's okay. Okay, that's something that's just a part of life. If they would rather you negotiate with them than you file bankruptcy and they get way less. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You have to bite the bullet and just go ahead and work on taking care of that debt any way possible. And you can always seek professional help. Okay, you have credit counselors out there, financial advisors that may be out there, but you need to go ahead and work a plan that will actually work. And in some cases, you may need to get more income coming in, find other ways to make money that will help pay that debt down. Sell stuff. I'm telling you right now, a lot of people don't realize how much stuff they can actually sell. Get rid of stuff that you are holding on to that you don't need. You absolutely don't need it. Sell it. Get rid of it. It'll clear your mind anyway. And once you clear all your debt and you start making money and saving up a lot, you can buy new stuff anyway, like better. And that's the one way to look at getting rid of your stuff. Okay, so the long-term benefits. Once your debt is cleared off and your credit score starts to climb back up, even if you've canceled credit cards, you will start getting credit card offers again. I got the same banks that I actually negotiated almost 70% of the debt away I carry credit cards for them. And I even carry better credit cards now that give a lot more bonuses and rewards. And again, we never carry balance. So you always want to make sure you stay away from getting that balance issue brought up again where you have to worry about your credit again. Emergencies happen. That's another thing too, is clearing all your debt off. If your emergency comes and you have a savings account now, you don't have to pay extra rates or high rates just because you don't have the funds to go and take care of it. It's just, you definitely want to take care of that debt as much as possible. Now, I did make a video on using my emergency fund to pay off my credit cards. And in that case, if you're going to do that type of strategy, make sure that you keep some of those credit cards open. You can't close it and negotiate them out because you're going to need that as your emergency fund if something were to happen. Make sure you're in a situation, though, that it's the least likely possible that you're going to need to go ahead and put that emergency cost onto a credit card. All right, because that's a very controversial issue. There's that other video you can watch on that. Go back to my channel, you can see I use my emergency fund to pay a credit card off. The other thing is, once it's all said and done, you can reset your life with a good credit score and you start saving so much money. Okay, so you're going to take the hit now in order for a better life later. It's called delayed gratification, and it's actually probably immediate gratification that got most of us in trouble with debt. And I put myself in that situation more than a few times. So just know you just have to be ready to go ahead and do that. And once you make this decision, things will start to work out for you. Okay, I promise you, you just need to focus on it and tell yourself you want to get rid of this. This is an absolute priority. You're going to work as hard as possible to do it, and you can do it. Okay, start by selling stuff though. I'm going to tell you that right now. Sell all your stuff that you don't absolutely need. Get rid of them, and then absolutely focus on paying down that debt with what you get on those sales, and then work your way to building up your savings after your typical financial plan. Don't forget to work a financial strategy called a budget. Okay, that's important. And it's really going to help you. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people say, well, how does a credit card score work? It shows your financial health, but it really doesn't. It doesn't really tell you how you're really doing financially because it doesn't know how much you're making. It just knows that you're bringing on debt and you're paying it back off, or you're not paying it off, but you're paying some of it off. So you're maintaining some debt along the way, and it can be absolutely detrimental to carry debt too long for anybody. So take care of your debt, whatever you do. Make sure that You focus on it as much as possible. Get your spouse, if you have one, on board with this. Go to a cash system if you have to. That saves a ton of money. You can watch my other video on why cash is king and how the rich actually save money by having cash on hand for stuff. And a perfect example is going to the gas station. If you're paying cash, you actually pay 10 cents less a gallon in most places. That's huge. It's $1.50 per tank that you fill up just by paying cash. So there's some benefits to going to that route as well. And you can also negotiate more when you have cash available as well. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. I love to hear your comments. What do you think? Do you think it is worth taking your credit score hit? I see too many people, honestly, what's why it's coming up. Oh, my credit score is going to get hit. But your bank account is hurting. It's hemorrhaging because you're trying to keep, it doesn't make any sense. But what do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Take the hit or not? If you are looking to buy a car or anything first or soon, then yes, you might want to rethink about how this strategy is going to work out for you, depending on what you're going to be buying. But financing either way is going to be expensive. And can you even afford it? Is it even worth it? Sometimes you have to look at that. Having bad credit is expensive, but having debt is even more expensive in the long run. It can actually, and your credit score can be fixed. It will repair itself. So focus on that. Take care of whatever you need to take care of. Find ways to go ahead and pay cash any which way possible. And I hope this is helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.